Now, with only 1 week left in the regular season, it's time to talk playoffs. Senior reporter Josh Gregory joins me now to break down the OHSAA points ranking system, and he's going to let us know which teams are safe and which teams need to leave it all out on the field next week. So, Josh, what have you got?
Well, Joey P., this is where football meets maths. It's playoffs, especially since OHSAA's point system is pretty complicated, but don't worry, I'm going to just touch on the basics. So whip out a pen and paper because class is now in session.
You need to know. First things first, the rankings do not reflect a team's strengths, nor do they predict the results of future games. They simply select the best teams for the tournaments based on the caliber of their opponents. When looking at how OHSAA does this, they use the division of your school and the division of the opponents in the regular season to calculate the points. The school's division determines how many points a team gets for winning, and that number never changes. So if your team beats a Division I school, you get 6.5 points, and then we move down every half point until Division VII, where the number is 3.5. Basically, the higher division of the school you beat, the more points you get toward playoffs. Simple, right? Now, very important, no team gets any points for losing a close game. If a Division VI team almost beats a Division III team, they get no points, and the D3 team gets 4 points. You still with me? Now here's where it gets a little tricky for our coverage. In the TVC Hawking, Wahama, it's in West Virginia. So what OHSAA has to do is count the school's male enrollment from freshmen to juniors to figure out a division to assign the school. Then distribute that accordingly when Ohio schools defeat Wahama. When everything is said and done, by next Saturday, the 8 schools with the highest per game average of points in each region will qualify for the playoffs.
So what we just saw is the basic system OHSAA has been using since 1972. Earlier in the week, I talked to Director of Communications Tim Stride about how this affects some of the teams in our coverage who moved down a division like Nelsonville and Tri-Valley.
If you are, in this particular case, let's say you're a Division VI school and you're playing larger schools, well, if you win some of those games, you're going to get more points. The conference often determines who you play during your league games, and then schools strategically schedule their non-league games.
So here's how some of the top teams in each conference stand. We only have 3 teams in our coverage area who are in control of their own destiny according to Joe Idle, meaning all they need to do is win out the rest of the season. Waterford, Southern, and NY. And the Buckeyes squeaked by with a heck of a win tonight, 27-24 over Vinton County, with a Garrett Maiden pass to Keegan Wilburn as time expired. But here's where it gets hectic. All of these teams have a very real chance at making the playoffs, specifically Tri-Valley, John Glenn, and Trimble. These 3 play teams in Week 10 that they should beat and will give them a lot of points. And if that is the case, it becomes harder for Philo and Unioto to make the playoffs, but it's very possible. But it depends on if other teams in the region ahead of them lose. Now, Chillicothe and Jackson play each other next week. If Jackson wins, they're probably in because Chillicothe is Division II. But even if Chillicothe wins, there's a chance they might not be in at all. I hope this makes things a little more simple going into Week 10. I think I heard the bell ring, Joey P. That means it's recess.
That's right. You had us in class there. Thanks for breaking down a really complicated subject and making it simple for us.